This is WCPO 9 News at 6.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Sean DeLancey. Brett has the weekend off. We are continuing to follow the unthinkable developments around a man hitting and killing a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy with his car 1 day after Cincinnati police shot and killed that man's son in East Price Hill. Rodney Hinton Jr. is now facing aggravated murder charges after Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi says he hit that deputy while he directed traffic on Martin Luther King Drive outside of the University of Cincinnati commencement ceremony. A CPD officer shot Hinton's 18-year-old son Ryan Hinton the day before, saying he fled from a stolen car and ran at an officer with a gun. Rodney faced a judge for the first time this morning. Reporter Alex Null tells us why prosecutors want him held without the chance of bonding out. And Alex, I understand you just talked with the Hinton family's attorney. Yeah, thanks, Alex. New details on the deputy and who he is are still limited tonight. Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey has not yet released his name, but there has been an outpouring of support for him so far. At a press conference yesterday, McGuffey did tell me that the deputy had recently retired. He stayed with the department as a special deputy to help with events, which is what he was doing when he was hit. She called him a wonderful man who's incredibly dedicated to serving the community. A procession of deputies and police cruisers escorted his body to the coroner's office in Blue Ash, where the sheriff says he will be watched over until burial.
Our deputy will not be alone. He is not alone. He will not be alone. There will be someone with him until the day that he transitions to higher ground.
And today, a fourth person was arrested in connection with the stolen vehicle investigation that led to Ryan Hinton's killing by a Cincinnati police officer. 18-year-old Sincere Grigsby is now facing receiving stolen property and obstruction charges. 19-year-old DeAnthony Bullocks and 18-year-old Jarrell Austin faced the same charges. Police say that all four ran from a stolen car when marked cruisers approached Thursday at the Westview condo complex on Warsaw Avenue. A press conference yesterday morning where she showed body-worn camera footage. Chief Thigi says Hinton ran towards an officer with a gun and that officer shot him. Rodney ran his car into the deputy soon after the video of his son's death was made public. And of course, our team will be monitoring this shocking situation all weekend long and beyond, bringing you the latest developments both on air and online at WCPO.com. Well, switching gears here and looking outside, it's a very busy, very wet weekend so far with the Flying Pig. Meteorologist Brandon Spinner gives us a look at the first forecast.
It's just a few minutes away.
Thanks, Brandon. You're going to have to tell me where you found that jacket. All this rain is pouring down on thousands of runners across the city as they take part in the 27th annual Flying Pig weekend. Organizers tell us that they are monitoring the situation throughout the races and are ready to step in to keep runners safe if need be. People could head to the expo to get out of the rain, but thankfully this morning's races went on as planned, with thousands completing the Toyota 10K, the Queen City Running 5K, the Flying Piglet, and more. Looking ahead, the Flying Pig Marathon and half marathons kick off tomorrow morning starting at 6:30. With more rain on the way, you can get the latest updates on potential delays or cancellations on social media, as well as through the PigWorks event app. And for a full list of Flying Pig road closures, the race schedule, and parking information, head on over to WCPO.com. Meanwhile, the Kentucky Derby is off to the races tonight at Churchill Downs in Louisville. Days of celebrations have all been leading up to the Run for the Roses, set to start within the hour. Journalism, like that name, is still on to the favorite, to win, with odds of 3-1. He's followed by Sandman and Rodriguez, whose odds are 5-1 and 6-1, respectively. At last check, post time is still set for 6:57, but that could be pushed back due to severe weather. We'll have the highlights tonight at 11 o'clock. And still ahead at 6, a community celebrates the long-awaited unveiling of its upgraded town square. How the new space was designed with veterans in mind. A little bit of behind the scenes here. I'm supposed to be asking about the Flying Pig and whether there's flooding like last year and lightning running, but we've got to talk about the Kentucky Derby jacket we've got going on here. I can't ignore it, right?
Yeah, I got it from a neighbor.
There you go.
So.
I always wonder if there's like a stash.
Neighbor Walter.
There you go.
I generally have my own, but he was like, you need this coat today. So
okay, the important part, though, we do have runners around the city.
Yeah, and also people watching Kentucky Derby post-time up.
This is a WCPO 9 breaking news alert.
Thank you for joining us here at 6. I'm Sean DeLancey. Brett has the weekend off. Tonight, we start with breaking news. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Department now releasing the identity of the sheriff's deputy killed in a crash on Martin Luther King Drive Friday, 33-year veteran of the force, Larry Henderson. Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey says Henderson began his journey at the department as a trainer, a job she says he was excellent at, and ended up leading the way for hundreds of deputy sheriffs. Starting in 1991, Henderson served in several specialized units, including a dive team member, HCPA SWAT, FBI Task Force, and the County Bomb Unit. His badge number, 129, will be retired from the agency. The sheriff says funeral arrangements will be announced in the near future.
There are obviously people who want to spread hate right now. To those people, what is your message?
You will not win.
Are you saying these officers should have done more?
I think so.
Thomas is meeting with the state public safety director to review every action taken by police that day.
You saw us and you wanted to speak with us. What's the main message that you want people in the public to know?
The main message I want is don't be afraid to speak up. Let's get out here and start talking about it. Let's get out here and start finding solutions.
What to you is the long-term solution to this type of violence?
We keep bringing awareness to what it does, the lives that it shatters and takes away.
Federally, there's a lot of cuts being made at the Department of Education. The state, we don't really know where we are right now with a budget. How do you navigate all of that?
So this is all about right now the unknown.
So on shaky ground, we asked you what your main concerns are and then brought them to Murphy.
They specifically said special education, some vulnerable people.
And those dollars normally come from the federal government, which is actively dismantling the Department of Education.
We don't know how to interpret that quite yet. So we're doing the very best we can right now with what we have had along the way.
In a meeting dominated by public comment from folks hoping to save Middletown's historic buildings, Marva Gaston stood once again to talk about the pile of concrete aggregate left behind after the city ground the old paperboard building into a mountain that still towers over nearby homes. It's the third time she's addressed council, and the first
Pictures and video don't do the scale of this pile any real justice
since I reported on the pile's problems.
I was approached by WCPO News and asked to do an interview as they saw the recording of the meeting and came to my house. I agreed, and boy, am I glad I did.
The city began leveling the pile a week and a half after our first report, and our reporting definitely has not gone unnoticed on council.
I was kind of shocked when I first saw that picture. It looked like Colorado or out west, whatever I had said, but WCPO picked it up. So thanks, Sean.
The new responses from council members were varied. Councilman Paul Lawley, who first suggested the site be leveled as they determined what to do with the aggregate, said the material needed dealt with safely.
I fully understand your concerns and your frustrations. However, what I'm asking is we have to be a little bit more patient.
Councilmember Jennifer Carter, on the other hand,
how long would we let something like that sit in any other neighborhood in Middletown, other than where it's sitting right now? So move it.
You hear those words, move it.
Yes.
Similar to what you told me the other day.
Yes.
And what goes through you in that moment?
Hopefully that I'm gaining some traction.
Mayor Elizabeth Slamka says the city is paying attention.
What priority level would you say that this is for the city?
For me personally, I think it's very, very important. It's a priority. The fact that this is in the air as potential dust is a concern for me.
In the end, that big pile is still sitting on that old property along Verity Parkway, but council members are now acknowledging that it is a problem and needs addressed. The big question is what exactly is going to be done with it and how long it's going to take.
We have had massive donations come in.
Lisa Wiggins says donations have poured in after we reported the retired and senior volunteer program was calling for help.
Yes.
People are cooking outside, giving free meals.
Yes.
What's your message for the givers at this point?
Thank you. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. It has made a huge difference.
But supplies are getting doled out as fast as they're brought in. Wiggins says they need cleaning supplies, boots, shovels, gloves, non-perishable food.
And all the beans and rice. You know,
staple foods.
Yeah,
as people here promise to bounce back.
We'll never give up, that's for sure. It's a no give up attitude around here.
It's got to be people having each other's backs, right?
Yeah, that's true around here. We try to keep a good community around here. It's nice.
You like living down here.
Kennedy just didn't expect this new member of his community moving into his basement without his knowledge.
It's not very often the fish come directly to you.
Blocks away, young Carson Thornton kayaked from his home to where we were filming to share a call for help.
Hopefully some people will come down here and help the people closer to the river, because I know like a lot of bad stuff was happening down there.
Hamilton County also bringing in crews to pressure wash the lower floors of parking garages surrounding Great American Ballpark ahead of the Reds' return for a game Friday. What needs done?
Well, we're doing that work right now. It's not just a little bit of mud. I mean, this is muck. This has to be shoveled out.
Treehouse says the commission is looking to the Senate now to add their stadium funding.
We're asking for $350 million from the state.
Do you think the Senate will play ball here?
I do.
Really?
I do. Yes, I do. Particularly because Cleveland is in the budget currently.
Sean DeLancey joining me in studio once again. So, Sean, a lot of moving parts here. What are the real chances of this actually getting approved?
Yeah, correct. To keep it simple, Governor Mike DeWine seems against any state funding to the stadiums without the gaming tax increase, period. If he doesn't get that, it feels dead in the water. But the House and Senate will eventually get in the same room to hammer out the entire state budget, and that could take weeks.
Right there.
Bob Mushrush says a beaver currently rules that part of the park. He knows the area well.
When I moved here in '82, they said the following year they would open this up as a fishing lake. It opened in '96. 14 years later.
It's been a glacial pace then.
I showed Mushrush and frequent dog walker Patrice Dixon and her pooch Daisy the plan.
That's, I think, going to be going in here.
And both thought the project could make the park much more usable and attractive for people from outside of town.
I think it's going to draw a lot of people.
Another wonderful place to come, listen to music, enjoy the nature and the beauty of the lake.
We're really excited.
Mayor Mitch Roda says he'd like many of the projects to be done in 2 years as council moved it forward towards approval Monday. The total list of projects will cost well over $10 million, though, so I asked if the town could afford it.
And what's the reality of it?
The reality is pretty good. The city of Fairfield is financially very sound.
What are your hopes for these officers at this point? I mean, that can't...
Hey, I hope they just go on about their day, go on back home, have a good day, because we all tried to help that guy out.
Now, this is a continuously developing story. We will have more on this both on air and over at WCPO.com as more information rolls in. Craig, I'm going to be honest with you. What you're looking at, this is a 32-year-old reporter who hasn't been on skates in 2 decades trying to do so live on television, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little shaky, but this is a fun event that we got going down here at the riverfront right by the Montgomery Inn Boathouse, where you can get a pair of skates for free so long as you bring an ID and you're over the age of 13 years old.